Hello and welcome to another edition of AttractWell Office Hours. I'm Coach Ashley, joined today by founder of AttractWell, Greg Kilwine. Hey, Greg.
Hey everyone, really good to hear today.
We're really excited to be here with you today, where we are unveiling a brand new feature on our platform. This is one that has been requested for years that we are very excited to be able to offer to you to allow you to fully integrate how you work your business into how you use your AttractWell platform. Today, we are talking about built-in scheduling, calendar booking, being able to offer availability, whether it be for free or paid, for leads or for clients, straight from your AttractWell platform, including all of the different flows and automations and communication that you want to attach to it. So we've got a lot to get into today. Very exciting feature that we're excited to share with you. So go ahead and say hello. Let us know in the chat where you're coming in from. Hey, Peggy, good to see you. We do have several folks signed up for live reviews today. That will be taking place in the second half of our call. As always, this is a live call that we offer every Thursday at 2 p.m. US Eastern Time, except for holidays here in the US. And of course, the second half is dedicated to Q&A. So with that said, let's get in to today's content. I'm going to pop out a video. We've got a lot of show and tell today. So I'm going to kind of talk through some slides and kind of go back and forth into actually showing you some of these cool features as we move through today's content. So again, today we're talking about how to get started with calendar booking. I should note here as well, another feature that is included with calendar booking is the ability to create and offer call packages. Of course, there are a lot of features included with that. We will be going into that on a separate call next week. Today, we're going to get into the basics of calendar booking, getting yourself set up so that you can go ahead and say goodbye to Calendly, Acuity, Schedule Once, whatever it is that you've been using, and move everything over to AttractWell. So today we are going to chat about setting up our calendar, including setting up booking types. We'll also talk about how you can customize the booking experience so that it really fits into the workflows and the end user experience that you want for people who are on your website or for your clients. We'll talk about how you can share your calendar so that folks can book with you. We do have a couple options for that. We'll also talk about what it looks like to attend your booking. So if someone books with you, how do you actually get onto that call? Maybe how do you record and share the recording of that call? We'll look at that as well. And then, of course, as always, we will get into live help and Q&A. So if you came here with questions, if you need help with something in particular, go ahead and add your question to the Q&A here. We've got Greg here who can answer questions as they come up. And then, of course, if it's something that we need to address after I get through today's content, we could certainly get to that as well. If you are watching this as a replay, please come join us. We're live every week at 2 p.m. US Eastern Time on Zoom at attractwell.com/office hours. It's a great opportunity to learn something and get help if you need it. And if you would like to have some time set aside to work together, like we will be doing with two people at the close of today's call, you can go to attractwell.com/work review to snag your spot. And if you would like for someone to do some of the work for you, we've got you covered there too. attractwell.com/concierge is where you want to go to meet our team, set up a call, and discuss your project. All right. So if you didn't know, now you do. AttractWell now has built-in calendar booking. I'm so excited about this, you guys. This is the cherry on top. This is the star on the Christmas tree. You guys, this is, I'm so very excited that we have this. This is such a huge deal. And this is going to save so much headache. And for those of you who have been paying for a third-party service, it's going to save you some money too. All of this is now built in AttractWell. Now, before we get started with this, I want to make sure that you know some of the things that you can do to make your life easy and just some general recommendations that I have for you. All right. So the first thing that I want you to make sure that you do is determine your weekly bookable hours. When are you actually available for people to meet with you? When do you want to intentionally be available for people to meet with you? What does that look like? All right, so figure out what that is. If you aren't already using a digital calendar to manage your life and sort of the balance between your personal and your professional, your deliberate versus your of the moment stuff, highly recommend getting started with a calendar. Google Calendar is a really great start, and I'll show you how to create a free Google Calendar using your existing email address here in just a moment. But if you haven't done that already, definitely do it. Okay, so determine which calendars you're going to use. If you are someone who has multiple calendars, I will be presenting you what may be a little bit of an edge case, but for those of you who have busy lives and manage multiple inputs, someone like myself has 6 that I use to actually check against for different conflicts. So determine which calendars you'll be using. You may use multiple. Make sure that you have a free Google Calendar for your business. If you don't have one already, I'll show you how to do it in just a moment. Make sure that the calendars that you use include not just your professional calendar, but also your personal one, right? Because you want to be able to show your availability, but if you have a doctor's appointment come up, you want that to be something that excludes availability where necessary, right? Now, my recommendation here, if you have multiple calendars, which many of us do, make sure that you are using a software that kind of puts them all in one place. If you are an Apple user, this is iCal. This is your built-in calendar software on your phone, on your tablet, on your desktop, right? And it could be Outlook, depending on what you use. Usually you're not going to see just Google Calendar as an interface allow you to connect in other accounts. That's a little bit more complex. You have to like subscribe to them, and it doesn't really do the same thing. So my recommendation is use the one that's built into your device. Microsoft Outlook, if you aren't on a Mac, or of course iCal is built in and works beautifully if you are on a Mac. All right, so the first thing I want you to do is to create a Google Calendar with your existing email address if you haven't done so already. Now, the email address you should be using is the one that is listed in your contact information in your AttractWell account, right? So that's typically going to be an address that is at your domain, right? So if your domain is AttractWell.com, then we're going to use Jane at AttractWell.com because we're going to be talking about Jane's account here. If you have yourname.com, it's info@yourname.com, whatever that is. If you need help setting an email like that up, please get in touch with our team. We can help you do it. Now, once you have that, we are going to create a calendar for it, and I'm going to show you how to do it. Really simple. All right. So you're going to go to accounts.google.com. This is where you can sign into an existing account, but what we're going to do is create one. I'm just going to use personal use here. I'm going to put Jane. Here's Jane. And I need to give them a birthday just for legal reasons. All right, now here what I'm going to do is use my existing email. Okay, this option right down here, use your existing email. All right, this is going to be Jane at AttractWell.com. Oh, and that one actually already is taken. So I've already got this set up. You're going to follow the prompts here. It will allow you to create an email address with a calendar attached. You'll be able to follow that flow. And then of course you'll get an email from Google that will confirm. You'll click it, or you'll put a code in, etc. And then essentially what you're going to do next is go and connect that calendar to AttractWell. But let's go back to our slides here. So that's what I want you to do. I want you to go to accounts.google.com, set up a new account using an existing email address, and you are going to be using that just for the calendar. All right. So then once we have that set up, if you don't, again, have it already, you want to add your calendars to AttractWell. So let's go back over here and connect our calendars. Now you can actually see here already, Greg's got a couple of calendars connected here. There's an Office 365 here for his Hotmail. He's got a Google Calendar for his Gmail. I have my AttractWell one here. We can go here and connect calendar. I have 50 million email addresses here. I'm just going to grab this one here. Here is Jane. I'm going to give it permissions. I'm going to select all. We're just going to give permission to AttractWell to be able to view the calendar. That's what this is doing. And with that, we have our calendar connected. Now, there is one more thing that I recommend that you do here, and that is to rename your calendars, right? So what I want you to do is add all of the calendars that you use, right? So this is the one that I'm going to use to take my bookings. And I want to check my bookings against my personal calendars, or perhaps maybe I have other work that I do where I am booked elsewhere, right? I want to check against all of these to make sure that there aren't any conflicts, and I want to book with this one. So what I'll do in that case is I'm going to go in and read. I'm going to go in and put in personal on this one, and for the rest of the name for all of these, I'm going to include the words read only, so that it's very easy for me to see which ones I only have here for read-only purposes, meaning check my availability against these calendars only, but this is the one I'll use for booking, right? So I'm going to rename this one to Jane Booking, right? And where you go to connect the calendar, apologies, that's going to be right down here under bookings in the left-hand column. And then you're going to go to my calendars. That's where you can find these connected calendars. You could also go and type in calendar here, and you can find that as well. All right, so I'm going in and I am specifying read only because I don't want to use these for booking. Now, you may choose to use multiples of these to take and make appointments. Maybe if you are a firm and you have maybe several people who, like, you have a team that uses the same AttractWell account, you may be connecting multiple people's calendars here for leads to book with different people on your team. You can certainly do that here as well. But for this purpose, I am going to, I'm going to call this one Greg's booking, since maybe Greg takes calendar bookings here as well. So I have several that I want to read against just to verify availability. And then I've got the ones that I'm going to use for actual booking. Now, it is, again, in my view, important that whatever you have listed here under my contact info is the one that you're ultimately using, unless, of course, you have another person in your organization. So here's Jane at AttractWell.com. Jane at AttractWell.com really needs to be the calendar that you're taking bookings from, unless you have Greg at AttractWell.com and the calendar booking that you're setting up is to talk with Greg, right? In that case, it would make a lot of sense, right? But definitely recommend at the very least that the calendar that you're connecting is associated with the domain, right? That is in your contact information. All right, so what have we done so far? We have created a Google Calendar using our existing email address. You should definitely also add that Google Calendar to your iCal or to your Microsoft, whatever you use. You add that calendar to AttractWell, again, going over here to your bookings, my calendars, click Connect Calendar, and then go through, follow the prompts to connect that Google Calendar. Rename those, right? Following the link there that says rename, so that you can tell, because we'll be getting these from a drop-down menu. You want to be able to be clear on which one that you're using, right? And then finally, we can go and create a booking type. Now, let me know in the chat how you plan to use your bookings, right? Are you taking discovery calls? Are you maybe offering free consults? Are you taking paid consults? What does that look like for you? Is this a part of a group coaching program, right? We're going to go and create a booking type. And I think that the way that I will go about this will be to offer a discovery call, right? So I am a coach or a consultant, and I'm going to have an initial exploratory call with a lead to see if they're a fit for working with me in a more dedicated sense. So we need to create booking types. You can see that we've got several options here. And again, this is under bookings, booking types. And here I'm going to create a new one by clicking Add Booking Type. So once we're here, I'm going to call this a discovery call. And I'm going to make this 45 minutes long. Okay, there we go, 45 minutes. Now here we have options for location. Of course, if you have a custom location, maybe there's an existing link that you want to put here if there's something that's already established that you're not changing. But what I certainly recommend, if this of course is not an address that you need to share, is that you go right over here to meet using Zoom and just let it auto create a meeting so that every call that you take that is this type of call will have its own meeting in AttractWell. Now, I personally like to use two different types of call. Here's a discovery call one. As a matter of fact, I'll go ahead and connect that here, but you can have it auto create if you don't have one already. And you can see here the calendar to use. We have a list. Now, this is going to be a discovery call with Jane. So I'm going to use the Jane booking. And note as well, it's easier for us to see which ones that we need to not use because we've put read only off to the side. We've renamed them so that we know which one is which and there's no confusion there. All right, so now we can change our colors up. Maybe I would like for the font to be this nice blue color. Maybe I want the background, the page color to be green. Maybe I want to change the image here and add a little something in there, right? So you have those options here to kind of switch up the way that it looks. And here's where we can provide some information, right? So this is where we would say, you know, join me for a 45-minute session where we'll uncover the next 3 steps you can take to, I don't know, lose 20 pounds quickly, right? Again, obviously put whatever your promise is here, give it a name, and of course, specify how long the call will be. You can request additional information with questions here. If you are looking for something a little bit more robust, we will be getting into shortly how you can embed this calendar into a page in AttractWell so that you can make use of the full page form functions. But I'm going to create something that's fairly simplified here. We're going to keep this built in. Please share anything that can help us prepare for this meeting. And we'll just keep that there as it's built in. Now, this is a one-on-one. Now, this discovery call, as I am promising, is a 45-minute session where I'm going to help one person uncover their next 3 steps to lose 20 pounds. I'm going to use a one-on-one meeting here because this is for leads and it's for me plus one person. Now, if you were setting up something that's intended to be for a group, maybe this is a workshop with a limited number of seats. This could be a group meeting where you can specify the maximum number of people who can book. I actually have one of these set up. In fact, the folks who have signed up for live reviews today have utilized it. And because there's a maximum of 2 people who are able to hop onto one of these calls. Specific contacts only is another really great setting that you can use here. And this is going to be more for if you have maybe had someone sign on to work with you and you want to be able to offer them opportunities to book, whether that's in a particular volume, that would actually be a package. We'll get to that next week. Or perhaps in some cases, there is an open-ended bookable scenario that you have with a particular type of client. You can specify who that is right here, or if they are maybe in a private client vault or in a vault that contains your clients, maybe folks are allowed to use this link and book with you if they're in your program or something like that. So I'm going to use a one-on-one. And then this does generate a built-in confirmation page, which is great. I'm not going to send a campaign, but you absolutely could if there's something that you wanted them to see other than their confirmation immediately after booking or some interval of time after booking. It's not something that you really need a great deal of attention on unless you're using this specifically in some kind of conversion scenario, in which case, again, if you're getting on a call, the outcome of that call is going to influence what happens next more so than something automated. Right? So I'm just going to send them to the built-in confirmation page. This is going to be a discovery call lead. There we go. I've got a tag for that already. I'm not going to send a campaign here. I'm going to now go to scheduling. I want to allow bookings only for the next 2 weeks. I don't want somebody booking me too far in the future. If this is for clients, depending on the scenario you have with them, if they want to book their calls with you ahead of time, you could certainly allow this farther in advance. But for leads, if we don't speak within, if it's for leads, especially if they're leads from online, I would not extend this beyond a week, maybe week and a half tops. I prefer to have a little bit of notice because I do a lot of very intentional time blocking and sort of management of my time. So I don't take calls on the fly. If you do decrease the number of hours here, I prefer a business day, right? So I'm going to put 7, you could put 8, it's up to you. Buffer time is important because you want to be able to, if you need it, add your notes or review your notes before and after meetings. So you can add, give yourself 5 minutes between calls or 5 minutes before a call, maybe 10 minutes after a call to add your notes. You can adjust the link path here and the increments of time that are shown as bookable on the calendar, right? So if you want it to, if your availability starts at 7:15 and they're 30-minute calls, it would be a 7:15, 7:45, etc., right? So you can have it show 15 minutes, 30, 45, or hour increments. And then here, this is where we want to add those read only, right? So Jane, I need to check against Jane's read only. This is her personal calendar. And we need to make sure that none of her personal conflicts or her personal appointments are going to conflict with her availability on this schedule, right? So we've got her personal read only, and then we can set our available hours. You can make entire days unavailable should you choose, and you can add multiple windows of time to a given day, right? So maybe here I am available from 9 a.m. till 11 a.m. I take an hour for lunch, and then I come back at maybe 1:30 and then until maybe 5, right? So you can have those multiple windows on a given day. You can set this up however you like. It is based on your time zone, and you can actually pull that down or type it in here to establish that as well. Here, I'm going to say book my call. This is our call to action button here. And you can also list times and dates that you aren't available as well. This is something that that you can set up here if you need to block some time on a regular basis, right? So maybe let's just say, this is my vacation. I'm going to be putting in my vacation dates. I could put that in here, right? I manage this personally from my own calendar, and I'll show you guys how I use that in a bit. But yeah, this is how we're going to set up our scheduling. And then we can get into reminders. Now, the way that you can set your reminders up is number one, you could just leave it as it is. Have an email reminder go out 24 hours ahead of time and an hour ahead of time. This is a great general best practice. This is going to auto-populate the name of the booking that you've provided with your name that's in your system. And then, of course, the amount of time remaining until you book. So this will be 24 hours or 1 hour, just depending on what you select from these different options. All right. So again, it's going to give their name. It's going to reiterate what's up here. It'll give that booking location. So that's that Zoom link. You don't have to worry about going to find it. It's already here. It's good to go. If you want to ask for additional information, use anything else that you'd like to say, you could put that in here as well. Use those field tags, attach automation links, whatever it is that you'd like to do, or you could keep it really simple, which is my recommendation, because these are just reminders, right? Should you choose to use text, you absolutely can. And you can select your intervals there as well. You can also automatically send a follow-up email or text a certain amount of time after your scheduled call, depending on how you are utilizing a booking event like this. This might be really useful to you, or it might be something that you choose to do just based on how the call goes, right? So a lot of really cool options here. I'm going to go ahead and save this booking type. And then we can go and take a quick look at it. All right, you can actually see her availability here. You can go ahead and pick a time. And you can see that there is just a little place to share any information that might be helpful in preparing for the meeting, right? So this is really, really, really simple. And we'll get into how we can get a little more custom here next. So the booking experience, meaning how someone receives your availability, interacts with it, and then, of course, ultimately confirms that they are on your calendar and receives information from you. So a couple of ways that we can look at customizing the way that someone interacts with this. Obviously, first, we do have the branding elements here of introducing your colors. This palette of colors are what you can find actually under your website, colors and fonts. You can actually set up your colors so that they're already here for you and ready to go. You can, of course, establish what it is that you want this form to look like on its own page. Now, the experience, the booking experience is going to be obviously number one, there's what they see. There are the questions that you ask. And of course, those questions are those that you can add here. And we'll talk about embedding this onto a page next. The other thing that you want to consider is how you want to communicate, right? So this is a discovery call, meaning this is going to be an interaction with a lead. Now, regardless of when they booked with me, and they will have booked with me within the next 2 weeks, I've got an opportunity to start dripping out information that maybe doesn't pertain specifically to this call, because those reminder emails that are down here, these are going to go out anyway, right? But maybe I want to start dripping information out that might be helpful for when we do get on the call, or that might just be generally good interaction between them and my brand. So maybe I want to send them some anecdotes, some customer stories. Maybe I want to send them some free material, links to blog posts. All of that I could put into a campaign and attach right here, right? You could also, let's just say, for instance, if this is someone who is in your general list of leads, and when they decide to book time with you, they are moving deeper into your funnel, right? You know this is a more qualified lead than just somebody who downloaded a free thing from your website. This is somebody who expressed an interest in speaking with you. You may choose to attach an automation here for you to reach out to that person individually and say hello, to check their social media and see if you're connected, or to attempt to make connection with them there. It may be that you want to send them a particular campaign. You want to bundle all that stuff together, change their tag, remove a previous tag, etc. All of that is stuff that you can do because this is fully integrated. So in terms of the experience for the person that's booking, there are a lot of options here. Just know at the bare minimum, you want to have an email reminder. I like 24 hours ahead and 1 hour before. You could do this via text or both. And then if there's anything else that you want to send, you can attach a campaign or an automation here. You could even add them to a vault if you really wanted to. All right. So there's a lot you can do there. But you can also keep it super simple and it works great. So let's talk about the different ways that we can share these booking types. The first is a direct link to calendar booking. And the second is to actually embed this onto a page on your website. So if we want to share this, we can actually go view, or we can click get link. And this will copy it to our clipboard. When we share it, they will see this. Here we go. They will see this. Right? So we'll share that link. And if you want to find it as well, if we go under bookings, go to booking types, you can see all of your different options for the different types of calls that you host. Here we go. There's that discovery call. I can click get link. And then of course I can send this off to someone, right? Now, what if I want to ask more qualifying questions, right? Like what if in order for them to book with me, I want to know specific information about them. They need to fill out a form so that I can reference that and we can make the most of our time together. Well, in that case, we want to use a page and embed this booking form on one. Okay, so I'm going to actually see if I have one. It might be called apply for a call, maybe discovery call. Let me see if I've got something along those lines. Here we go. Here is an apply for a call landing page template. I'm going to duplicate this just in case I have that being used actually as a template and you guys need to use it at some point in the future. So I'm going to apply for a call is the name of our page. Here we go. Apply for a call with Jane. Let's go see what we have here. Yes, perfect. So here you can see, as it stands so far, we have maybe a logo, and then we've got a reason why they might actually want to hop on one of these discovery calls, right? So we are more or less making this a landing page. And then here we have a pop-up, or you could put this on the page itself. We'll just roll with the pop-up here. We've got name, email, phone. We've got what do we want to accomplish? How motivated are you? What's been holding you back? Of course, you can modify those to your heart's content. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to go to settings, and I'm going to go to leads. Here, I'm still using the pop-up, and let's go check out the message to show on the lead capture form. I'm fine with this remaining my call to action. These are all already set up and good to go. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and close that up. And now I'm going to go into fields and booking on lead capture form. I'm going to include a calendar, and I'm going to include it in this case below. I want them to engage with the questions first, and then they can select their time. All right. And I'm going to choose the booking type, and that's going to be the discovery call. Here we go. It's the one that we just created. And then here again, we can include additional questions. We can require different questions to be answered. You can use multiple choice. We have done additional trainings on utilizing this form. This can be as long or short as you want it to be. Okay, just make sure that you have all of the questions, the qualifying questions that you want somebody to answer included here, and that they have the right input, right? So if it's a short answer, it's a long answer, maybe it's a drop-down list, maybe they pick one or they pick multiple answers to the question that you're asking, okay? So that's our fields and booking form. And then after they register, now this is where we want to make sure that we aren't just relying on whatever we set up for this, because all we're really doing is embedding the ability to do this, right? This stuff is now the responsibility of the page, right? So we need to actually set this stuff up. So here I want to have a confirmation. Maybe this is a booking confirmation. Maybe I have one of those. No, I don't. Okay, I'm going to use this one that's attached here because that is, you know, a confirmation campaign, which is essentially a message that says, hey, I'm so excited to chat with you. Maybe come check out my Facebook group or something like that. Here we go. I've got a strategy call lead or discovery call lead. That's the one I was using. I'm going to remove that one. And then I'm going to send them to a confirmation page after this, right? So this is going to be a, let me see if I have call confirmation, live event confirmation. So here we go, appointment confirmation. Perfect. Okay, so I'm going to send them some information. You also don't have to add this. Again, like this is only if you want to. You could go to select no campaign here. Right? Because those reminders that we set up for this booking event are still going to go out, right? So if there's additional stuff you want to send, attach a campaign. If there's not, just rely on those reminders that we've already set up. We're sending them to a simple appointment confirmation page. I'll show you what that looks like. Super, super simple. It's got a picture and it says, I'm excited to chat with you, right? And then head over to your email, add me to your address book, etc. That's basically what we're doing here. So I'm going to save this. And then I'm going to view this. And now we can fill out the form and look at that. We've got the ability to select our date and time. We've got all of this to fill out. And then once this is done, and I'll just do this for the sake of showing. And then here we go. Perfect. So I'm going to go click that. Let's get started. It's going to reroute me to a confirmation page. There we go. And now I can actually go and see in my bookings. There we go, booked meetings. I can actually see what my upcoming bookings are, when they are, who I'm connecting with. I can click and go view the contact. I can book an additional meeting with them, reschedule, cancel, or even grab the original link, right? So there's two ways to share. The first one would be just to share the direct link to the calendar event itself. If you are looking for something more complex in terms of the questions, or if you want to charge, right? Then you would want to use a page. So we are going to get more into selling these. Let me just put Jane in here. If you want to get into selling your one-off calls, here we go. Is this the one that I just did? What you would want to do, yeah, perfect. Under settings, we've got our, our booking and everything set up here, right? But then you also go into payments, make sure your processor is attached here. And if you want to charge $200 for this call, then that's the other field that they have to fill out, right? So they're putting in their information, they're selecting the date and time, and they're paying all at the same time. So those are our two options for sharing our availability. So you can actually embed this form onto a website page, or you could just send them direct to your calendar booking link. All right. Now, I did just show you where you can go to find your events that are scheduled in your system. But let's talk about what it looks like to actually show up and follow up from those events. So if we go down to our bookings, we go to booked meetings, and you can see what you have coming up, right? What I really love to do personally, and I might actually go and show you guys what this looks like in my own AttractWell account soon. But basically what I like to do is I like to have however many different types of calls that I have. I reuse the Zoom meeting links for those. And on my bookmarks page, or my start page in my browser, I save them, right? So if it's a discovery call, that's a lead call. So this is what I'm going to click for my lead calls. If it's one of my clients, I'm going to get onto a client call. And these are the start meeting links that you'll find from down here in Zoom under Zoom meetings. Right? So there's my discovery call. I can click start meeting, or again, I could save this and I can have that right here, and I can click it whenever I need to start a meeting. Now, once you're in the meeting, you may want to record it, right? So if you're in the meeting, you want to record it, you want to record to the cloud from the meeting while you're in Zoom. So select record to cloud. And then once you're out of the meeting, you're going to go to your Zoom meetings page in AttractWell, and you're going to look for my recordings. Once you're there, once it's uploaded, then you'll be able to see an option there to click a link to convert the recording to your video library in AttractWell. And then from there, you're able to share that video with your client or add it to a vault if that is useful for you. So again, that's going to be right down here under Zoom meetings, my recordings. You will find the recording here. And once you click the link to convert it to video, it will show up in your content library under videos. And then from there, of course, you can share directly with a link, or you can embed this onto a page or into your vault. All right. Now, pro tip, again, can't recommend enough, use that start meeting link and make that a bookmark, so that when you see your calendar notification pop up on your screen, you know you need to be ready. Just open a tab in your browser and click a button. Can you go to AttractWell, look it up, find it? Yeah, absolutely. But if you've got that bookmarked, it's going to make your life that much easier. You have to click fewer things. It takes less time. This stuff adds up. All right. So next week, we are going to talk about call packages. Really excited to get into that with you guys. And of course, excited today to get into some demo and of course, some Q&A with you guys here as well. I'm going to pop out and show you really quickly how I have this set up. I need to log in as myself here really quick into AttractWell, and I'll show you exactly how I do this. And literally, this is how I do this. This is not theoretical. All right. So this is me, Coach Ashley with AttractWell. I have under my bookings, first, let's look at my calendars. I have a lot because I manage a lot of stuff. So I've got my old, so I was using Calendly, and the email address that I was using for Calendly, I need to keep in here because there are still some prior bookings that folks have made that need to be checked against my availability. This is my schedule blocking from my personal calendar. I've got, this is the one I'm using here, my AttractWell appointments. I'm reading only from my other appointments that I take, and I'm reading only from another schedule that I keep for another client that I have, right? So I keep all of this here, and then I've got these booking types. And I book them again, all with AttractWell appointments, but I check availability against all of those other calendars that I have, right? Now, this breakthrough call, this is for leads. These are for potential coaching leads with me. Now, this breakthrough call, here, let me see. Did I do that right? No, the breakthrough call is with clients. Forgive me. Breakthrough call is with clients. I just set this up. This is new. And I moved over from Calendly. So this is for clients. And so I have a link called private client calls. Remember client calls? This one. When I click it, that opens the start link for these private client calls. So if somebody books on this calendar, then they are going to be sent the link for private client calls. The strategy call, this is one-on-one. This is one that is for leads, right? This is for folks who are not working with me. And look, it says non-client calls right here, lead calls, shared right there in my bookmark so that I can just click it and open it. Just have to make sure that I'm logged in to the correct account. You can go in and view it. I only allow visibility a couple weeks in advance for this. And of course, it is checking against multiple calendars for my availability, right? And so you can go and check and see that's the only time it's available, etc. Right? So that is how I have that set up. I am at this stage using just the calendar itself. Although if you go to attractwell.com/work review, you can actually schedule yourself for an upcoming call using this very system and see it working in real time. All right, let me get into some Q&A here, and then I will start bringing you guys out. I know I have two folks who are patiently waiting. Angeline, I'll be calling on you first, and then Peggy, I'll bring you out. Denny says, nothing to do with the calendar, but I do have a question about how to set up my landing or homepage to be readable because it shows up tiny. I hope that I can get to that. I do want to make sure that the folks who signed up for a live review are able to do that today. Denny, if we can't get to that together today, definitely reach out. I think Greg is responding to you here. Want to make sure you know all of your options for being able to get that hands-on help. But stick around and I will do my best to get to that. Understanding what features I need to know about if I'm offering the following services. Alex, all right. Drop-in office hours, one-on-one coaching sessions, workshops, webinars, VIP days, linking booking calendars to vaults, linking clients with multiple vaults to booking calendars. The goal is to minimize confusion on when and where to book. Okay, what features do you need to know? I mean, you're kind of running the whole gamut there, Alex. It just kind of depends on which thing you're launching first. So I would pick whatever thing you're launching first, right? Are you transitioning a business that's already offering all of those things? If that's the case, then we might want to set up like a strategy call with myself or someone on the team who can help you kind of outline a game plan. If this is something that you are building toward, but not something that you're maybe currently migrating from a different service, then what I would do is just start with the thing that is most important to your business first. So maybe establishing those, if it's one-on-one, if that's a primary way that you work with clients, getting the one-on-one system set up, right? Or if the webinars are how you work with people, then getting that system set up and then building blocks from there. Because you are going to be using pages, vaults, automations, campaigns, calendar booking, like you're going to be using all of those features to execute the things that you're talking about. I think that the important way to look at it though is from a project management perspective, meaning each of these things are either their own project or part of a larger one. So you want to make sure that you're clear on what that is. So I would be very curious to know if this is, if where you're coming from, Alex, is that you have all of these things up and running in your business right now, maybe on another platform, and you want to migrate them. Building toward. Okay, awesome. So let's see. Online course vault as active. Gotten overwhelmed with setting up the vault and knowing what to do when. Tell you what, shoot me an email, Ashley@attractwell.com. It could be that we could work on this live next week, or we could be, we could be chatting in the meantime as well, just to help get you oriented in the right direction. Okay, wondering if my booking page could get a once over. Elise, could you pop it in maybe to the Q&A, and we'll see if we can get to that. Because I did have, I believe, Angeline signed up to do just that today, and I've got to bring her out here in just a moment. Okay, yeah, Alex, shoot me an email, and Elise, if we don't get to you on today's call for the review, then definitely email me as well. Stacia says this is going to save the pain of figuring availability issues in my Calendly account. Yes, yes, absolutely. This covers what paid Calendly does and then some. Wait till next week. Oh my gosh, when we start talking about call packages and people knowing what call they're on, and you knowing what call they're on in their package of calls, and all the automations and stuff you can do with that. Oh my goodness, there's so much here. Hi, Angeline. How can we help today?
Hi, Ashley. I'm still plugging along. So I have a few questions, and I'm going to start with the one that is most pressing, and that has to do with my authority page after the lead magnet has been downloaded.
Okay.
I'm still working on that client funnel challenge, but I'm working slowly because I'm also trying to make some money. So the lead magnet is a self-audit workbook, and it's pretty comprehensive. It has instructions and everything, and it has a video that it goes along with it. So the self-audit is also part of a tool that I use in the beginning of my coaching process, because the outcome will be how I guide the coaching plan in terms of what areas of the 11 areas that they need help with in their business. So my question is, my challenge is, initially I created a video that basically, it's supposed to be a discovery call funnel, but I created a video that initially just said, call me after you've done the audit so that we can go over your results. I don't think that's going to help me get discovery calls as quickly, because people are they procrastinate. So
Yes.
My question is, can you think of, just at a high level, some languaging that lets them know that if they don't want to go on their own, which the tool is very valuable for, that they can also book a call with me so that I can guide them through it and then tell them about the next steps in the coaching process?
Yeah.
Does that make sense as part of inviting them to have a discovery call even before they open the document and go back to their email? If I explain to them how comprehensive it is or something like that.
Yeah, yeah. So this is where you have an opportunity to kind of use get real language, where you kind of get real with them, right? They land there and you can be like, hey, you did a good job. You downloaded a thing. Now let's get real for a second. What are you going to do with that? Would you like for me to do it with you? Here is your one and only opportunity for me to do it with you. Schedule now.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
So is that offer, Ashley, the something that I would do with them during the discovery call, as part of looking at eventually getting the client as a coaching client? I didn't think about that, but that could be a good tool to do during the call, right?
Yeah, yeah. So basically what you're doing, and this is what you do on authority pages, you're exposing the gap, right? So you expose a gap to a degree on a landing page, right? Like, here's a thing that you want, and there's a thing standing between you and what you want. And this is going to help you get a little closer. And then when they land on that next page, the authority page, it's your opportunity to say, hey, let's zoom in on this a little bit. That's a really big canyon you're wanting to jump across. I have a parachute. Do you want it? Right? Like, or I have a magic bridge or whatever. So like, that's where you kind of, because you've got somebody who's qualified themselves by showing up and saying, oh, well, I would like step one. And you could be like, hey man, I could show you how to jump ahead 20 steps. And that's kind of the thinking there. So yeah, absolutely. If you're helping them on the call, especially if what you uncover on the call is going to give you enough to close them, then that's a great idea. Yeah.
Okay, excellent. I didn't even think about that. So glad I asked that question. Okay.
Okay,
And then finally, not finally, the campaign, the email campaign that comes after, do you suggest that part of the email, one of the emails that go out, follow up with people to see if they've done the audit and then grab them again and see if they want to come back and do the call? Or is that is that campaign more content related, relationship building?
So because your lead magnet is so actionable, what I would be doing in that campaign is maybe offering a couple of tips, but go light with it, you know, a couple of tips to help them do it right. But then remind them at all stages, you know, hey, I understand this can be really complex. And if you're like a lot of my clients, you might just procrastinate and stop on this, but here's the reason why you don't want to do that. Here's the reason why you want to hop on a call with me now, right? And so the purpose of that series, that campaign that you deliver after the lead magnet, is to get them into that secondary qualification stage, into that discovery call with you. And so everything is in service of that at that point.
Okay, so like if there's a financial management section, that's usually the sticking point for a lot of my clients. I can sort of say, hey, if that section is giving you some anxiety, let's jump on a call and go over that section or something like that then.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
And then just briefly, I'm still confused because I haven't started all this yet, and it's just been in the back of my mind. The email, how does that work? Because the email address, I'm assuming, is going to be my email address that I use regularly, or should I have used a different email address for, all of this back and forth, because I get regular mail with existing clients and whatnot. So I'm confused about where I check the email, where it goes in, and how does it integrate with my primary email, because I don't want to be bombarded.
Right. So your primary email then is not the one that you use to interface with clients, or is it?
It is. And so I'm wondering, because a lot of what's going to be going out as content when I do my blog and my newsletter and all of that other stuff, is that the same email that's facing the public for the content delivery, like the blog and the newsletter?
Okay. Yeah. You can provide a differentiation here. And this is actually where it becomes valuable, say, for instance, in setting up those calendars, right? Because maybe once you've got somebody who is a private client, just know that like whatever leaves your system, whatever communication leaves your system as email or text, is going to be coming from whatever the email address is that you have attached to your system. It's one email, right? So, but where this diverges slightly, and where you might, have a separate inbox that you communicate with clients with that's different from here. They're still going to get outgoing emails from that same email address that sends out your blog posts to the public. Okay. So we don't have two separate ones, but you could connect maybe a private client calendar with that other email address, right? And so that maybe that booking availability is only for those clients. So if they're accustomed to hearing from you from that place, then that could help. But it is important to remember that it is, one AttractWell system, one domain, one email address in terms of outgoing.
That's fine to get. What I'm concerned about is emails that come in, unless it's a no reply email that goes out just for general content. Because what I'm concerned about is everybody getting that email address and just shooting emails when I'm sending out content to their emails. Now, when it comes to people booking and all of that, I'm fine with that. But I'm just wondering if I'm basically triaging the entire email system for anything that comes in.
The way that I like to manage this is generally speaking, because the bulk of what's happening from your perspective is stuff is going out, right? So call this your business email address. This is your name at yourwebsite.com. This is your business email address. People are going to be contacting you from here. You're going to be emailing your list from here. If people hit reply, that's where that's going to go. You have the ability to, in different mail providers, depending on what you use, create sort of stratified systems, right? Like these are boxes, these are filters, things like that. So when I have a client, I create a VIP inbox. And that's part of my workflow. And maybe you could put that into your follow-up plans. When someone converts to client in my email client, I'm going to take that person's contact and make them VIP. So now they're in their own inbox.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. And then you can use
Okay.
filters just like you would anywhere else. But
Okay.
you do still want to be using that same inbox, because anything that you send out that's marketing, if somebody replies to it, that could be a lead, right? And they're
Yeah,
going to be
got it.
replying to that same email address.
Okay. Okay, and I do use an app called SaneBox that separates things to black hole and newsletters and everything. So,
Got
okay,
you.
I just wanted to know, was it coming into AttractWell or going to my email? So that's great.
Got you.
And then finally, just one quick thing. I asked before, and I know it's not a priority, but I just want to put it back out there. See if you guys are have dark mode on your wish list, because my eyesight is horrible, and that bright screen with that gray writing is sort of challenging.
Yeah.
So just want to put that out there again if you have a dark mode that's coming, or that you're
I
thinking
don't
about.
know for certain, but I promise you I'll make sure it's on there if it's not.
Okay, very good. That's it for me. Thank you.
All
so much.
right. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Love the progress you're making. All right. I also have Peggy signed up. Thank you so much for your patience, Peggy. I believe we're talking about how you're making your offers, or how you're sort of setting up your offers.
That's right. And I think in between the time that I asked for the work review, I think I figured it out, but I would
Oh,
love your
cool.
feedback.
Okay.
So I have a maintenance program. One price for 6 months, another price for 12 months. And do I set it up, I guess, on a page with just 2 links? One link so I describe the 6-month program, what they get, and just put a link at the underneath that, and that goes then to a registration page that allows the contact to sign up for 6 months, and then the other link goes to a different registration page and allows them to sign up for 12 months.
Okay.
Is
So
that
this
how
is
you would do it?
existing. Is this existing clients? Like you said, this is like a maintenance thing?
Content, yes, exactly.
Yeah. So it's people who have worked with you already. They're signing up for a 6-month or a 12-month package.
Correct, yes.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, you could put both of those on the same page. It's so long as there's not a huge scope of difference between them. And then, yeah, what I would do is for each payment option, you would attach automations, etc., to fulfill, here's the campaign they get if it's 6 months, the campaign they get if it's 12 months, the call package they get at 6 months versus 12 months. So they get X number of calls. If you wanted to do that to a vault, your follow-up plan. Yeah. So I would create an automation for each, attach that to the payment options. And yeah, you could certainly offer those from the same page, because it's being sold to somebody who already knows the value of working with you, and they see this as a continuation of that value, right? If this weren't for your existing clients, I would probably recommend a sales page, right? Like a full-blown like sales page, right? But because this is, you've probably had a conversation with them, you've recommended this to them in your capacity of the work that they have paid for previously, then you could simplify that a bit.
And can I ask you one more thing?
Yeah.
I asked this in the Facebook group, and Jessica was good enough to answer me back, but I just didn't understand it fully. So if you go into my account and you see, and so I set up a Healthy Holidays vault.
Okay.
And I tried to connect the campaign, holidays, vault welcome, and all sessions. But for some reason, it's not linking. And Jessica said something about, yeah, so that's the wrong one. So if you go to and try to connect.
What is the name of the, what's the?
That's the wrong one. It's holidays. It's holiday.
Okay.
There you go. That one.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so here's why. So let's We're going to add a message to the campaign to fix this. And then let's go to this campaign and see what that means. Basically, like you need this, right? You need a welcome to the vault. You have that disabled. You need this information for them to be able. So this is a welcome campaign. And a welcome campaign is what is sent out by the vault after someone is added to the vault by whatever means. And this needs to give them the ability to click a link and get access to the vault, especially if they've never bought anything from you before, or they've never signed up for your member area before. And so this is the message that was just added. Greg, this is genius. I've never, like, this is the first time I've ever seen, like, add the missing message to your campaign. This is awesome. So basically what's happening here is we're sending them the welcome message right away to confirm that they've got access. We're telling them the vault that they have access to, and then we're telling them the email address that they must use to log in. And then this is going to take them to where they can set their password, right? So that was missing from that campaign, and that's why you couldn't attach it. And so since
And
we,
you had to,
yeah, it
I'm
has to,
sorry.
if you're going to use it as a vault entry campaign, it needs to
Mm,
include this information. Otherwise, it's just telling them they bought something that they will have no idea how to access.
got it. And the vault entry campaign has to begin with this particular message.
Yeah, and you can modify this, right? You don't have to recommend the apps. You can add additional information, say other things, but you do need this button, right? If you
Mhm.
look down at the
Mhm.
very bottom, right, this add message, vault link, email, contact email, this is something that they need to click to go get access to the vault that they purchased or opted in for or what have you. So this is the most important thing, and it's important for them to know what they got and the email address that they signed up for. Because like if for some reason they can't, get access, it could be that they used a different email address, right? Or whatever that might be. So this is just a really important first message that has to go out with your vaults.
Could you save that and then back out to the messages and
Yeah.
and see what my first message is? Because I think that it is a welcome to the vault. No. Oh. So that's not the welcome to the vault message. Actually, the welcome to the vault message is the next one.
This one.
Oops. Yeah, I think it's that
Okay.
one.
I see. I see. So this would just need to be your day zero message, and then it should
Ah,
be fine. Because it looks like you might have copied. No, that's excellent. Yeah. So this hooray, healthy holidays start
okay.
soon. Let's
Mm,
just make that day
yeah.
zero. And then we can delete this guy.
Okay.
And with that, this should attach to your vault just fine. So here, I'll refresh this real
Yeah.
quick. Yeah, there's no issue here.
Perfect. Wonderful. Got it. And to have it start on day zero, so they get it immediately after they sign up, but the subsequent the messages that come subsequent to that, oh, I see how they're date based, and I can send them on whatever date is appropriate, is what I choose. Okay, I got it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you,
Fabulous.
Ashley. Thank
Yeah,
you.
sure thing. Sure thing. All right. Elise, I will take a look at your booking page. If you are still here, looks like you are. All right. Let's go take a look at this together. Okay. Cute. I love it. All right. Courage coaching. Excellent. We've got packages, testimonials. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay. So create your path. Where does this take us? Oh, you've got a button that's going to your Calendly down here, just FYI. Book now. So I would change the link in this button to #lead. So it's the same as this one. All right. Ooh, I love it. It's pretty. I like that color contrast. Looks like you can select the times. That's great. So let's see. All right, this is good. What I might specify here, because you are selling this and you're doing it all from the same form, is I would actually add like a header here that says select the date for our first session, and then select. So basically you're giving them instructions, right? So you want to have something that appears above this calendar, and that would be, and actually let me pause real quick on my share here. I'll get into your account and I'll show you. That's going to be in sort of the lead capture information. And that'll be a pretty simple change here. Let's see. Can I find you in here? Give me just a moment. Sorry about that. Are you under a different name, perhaps? Oh, I see what I'm doing. I've got a typo. Sorry, guys. Okay. If there's a different name on your account, please let me know. I am going to be looking it up via your website address. Oh, you know what? Are you a Good Oiling user? That's probably what this is. Okay. No wonder. Okay. Okay. I've got you covered. All right, let's go take a look at this together. Okay, so this is under your pages. So the modifications we would be making here are actually on the page. And this was coaching, courage coaching. There it is. Okay, so what I would do here is under the settings, under leads, message to show on lead capture form. This is where I would say, select the time for our first appointment below, and then pick the package you want, right? And obviously change this. I look forward to working with you. Right, so I'm going to save this real quick. And again, this is really just more of like a user experience recommendation, because it is just a little bit unclear, because what we've got right here are like, ooh, I've got a package of this many or this many or this many. But the first thing I see is a calendar. Ooh. Actually, okay, so because this is how it's showing up, so there's two options. So this is showing up below the calendar. We could either choose to make the calendar below the form, or we could try something a little different. So instead of putting that here, I wonder if we just make this the headline and see if that works. If we like the way that that looks, then we keep it. Otherwise, my recommendation would be to make the calendar appear below the form. Yeah, we need to make the calendar appear below the form. That would be the best move here. So let me remove that from here, because that's going to show up kind of huge. And then what we'll do is fields and booking will go below the fields for the calendar. And now when we go and look at it, it's going to feel a little bit more clear, because now they're going to select, well, change the order of this now that we have it at the top, actually, but have them pick, because they've just decided, I want this many sessions. We want them to go ahead and pick that first, then put their name in, put their payment information in, and then they can book their first call and get started. So that would be, I would keep it this way, obviously make some modification here to the call to action, the title, etc., or remove this because now it just flows a little bit more logically than having them pick a time first. Because if they're thinking, oh, I'm going to book an 8-session series, but they're just booking one call right now, we want to make sure that we're kind of preempting that and letting them understand that that's what's going down, right? Okay, glad that helps. Glad you could stick around for that. Let me see. Found a way to add an email to my Google Calendar. Oh, awesome. That's great. All right. Thank you guys for sticking around. And I wanted to see, I think he had to run. All right, cool. So we will be back next week where we will be talking in detail about booking packages, right? So setting up package booking, like what we just saw on Elise's site, where you can sell bundles of calls. We can add those to our group programs. We can limit our availability to a certain set of people who are maybe in a particular vault or name them. It's so many things that we can do with this. So we're going to talk about how we can go beyond just ditching Calendly and doing something incredible using your AttractWell system, selling your appointments. Next week is going to be, I think, of particular import to you if you offer any type of services, especially if they're in person. Think yoga studio, massage therapy, other types of in-person events and therapies and schedules and things like that. You're going to love getting into the packages and how we can set this stuff up. So bring your questions, head over to the Facebook group, let us know how you plan to use this, and we will be back same time next week. Hope you have a great week, everybody.